Hey y'all, how it feels to be a black person in America, part one. First off, I want to say that I know that black people are not a monolith. When a person or a group is called a monolith, it means that they are seen as a large, uniform, and inflexible whole, lacking diversity or individuality, often with a negative implication that they are rigid, resistant to change, or the thought of being all the same. So I know that most, groups of people, religious, ethnic, whatever, racial groups are not a monolith either. And I'm not claiming to speak for all black Americans, even though much of the African American experience is shared. I'm telling y'all this just so you know that we know. The Great White American Smear Campaign on us, African Americans, is very clearly and obviously real and it's working. It's known worldwide. I've seen news show interviews with Africans from current day Africa say that when their parents send them here, they tell them to stay away from us, African Americans, because they believe the stereotypes and the bullshit pushed out constantly by the Great White American Smear Campaign on us. There's actually a whole ass diaspora war between African Americans and other Africans. A diaspora refers to a large group of people who share a cultural and regional origin but are living away from their traditional homeland, which wasn't our choice. I just feel like I need to say that for an idiot. But in my own life, I've experienced this unfortunate attitude held by some African people. I've asked my black friends about their experiences. It's the same. Ignorance comes in all colors, and just because you're my color don't mean you're my kind. Racism is based on weakness and fear, literally. As an African American, we know that the fight that African Americans fought and died for led the way for all minorities to have civil rights in this country. Maybe we even made it possible for you to be here in this country. So, happy Black History Month. Thank an African American for all of this. And learn before you judge us. Because, as you see, that machine never stops working. We know that the colonizers purposely removed the book of Exodus from the slave Bible. The book of Exodus is central to both Jewish and Christian theology, focusing on God as a redeemer, yes, who rescues his people from oppression and enters into a relationship with them. It sets the stage for the rest of the Old Testament. And it also establishes the thematic pattern of liberation, covenant, and divine presence. So, of course, they wouldn't let us have that. Slave owners omitted the book of Exodus from the slave Bible again to suppress stories of liberation, specifically Moses leading the Israelites out of Egyptian bondage. By removing accounts of God freeing slaves, they aimed to prevent rebellion, instill obedience, and repress hope for freedom, focusing instead on verses that encourage subservience to masters. The redacted Bible emphasized obedience to masters, ensuring enslaved individuals remained subservient. The 19th century slave Bible was heavily redacted, removing almost 90% of the Old Testament and 50% of the New Testament to align with these goals. It's disgusting to mess with someone's understanding and relationship with God. They thought about all of this so much, and I would never say that I hope this is exactly what God said to these hateful, animalistic, barbaric assholes before they were cast into a lake of fire. I would never say that. No matter how bad I want to, I just won't do it. We obviously also know that the 36th president, Lyndon B. Johnson, said if you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. Johnson made this observation in the 1960s to explain the political dynamics of racism and resentment in the South. Johnson was describing a strategy used by politicians to secure the support of low-income white voters by offering them a sense of social superiority over black people, distracting them from economic policies that favored the wealthy. We see this shit. Thanks for the hellscape, racist. We could not help but wonder, why are white people so obsessed with us? 'Cause we ain't studying y'all. We mind our black ass business while others take our culture and shit on us. We know that staying woke, alert, attentive has been stolen and turned into something bad. Y'all are so religious, and you got your white Jesus that I don't know. I don't know him. 'Cause my Redeemer King said to be watchful. For us, the past is the present. Ahmaud Arbery, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, and many, so many more. This ICE shit ain't new to us. And when it was mentioned that ICE could potentially start looking for Haitians and Somali people, we weren't surprised. And we were actually waiting on it. How do racists tell the difference between an African American citizen or a non-citizen? They don't, and they don't care. We see and we know white fragility. We see it way too often. But for some reason, hearing that these people were asking and feeling entitled enough to tweet, "Where are the white people? This isn't white enough for me." What in the literal fuck is wrong with people who say and think like this? The majority of the population runs everything and has everything, not just material, tangible items, but generational wealth and the freedom to actually feel and be free. Catch it. What in the hell does that shit feel like? And they expect everything to be for them. They always want to be pleased. Again, I couldn't understand the words being sang by Benito, Puerto Rico's hero. Hey, but it was beautiful, emotional, and the music was out of control in the best way. Ricky Martin's fine ass was there, and you just know all of the non-melanated people were trying to shake their asses till she bangs. Don't play with Ricky Martin. She's all I ever had, a fucking masterpiece. And I love that Benito didn't speak English at all, not one word, because not speaking English, I feel, was intentional, and I love it. Hispanic people are being hunted down, getting their cars shot up when they have their children in the damn car, just like they're being treated the worst. I think that the Hispanic people deserve this. They deserve to see themselves and feel represented. When Kendrick was on the Super Bowl stage, I was still feeling the devastation about Madam Vice President Kamala Harris's loss by theft. I'm never letting that go. And I know that there was something in me seeing Kendrick and being proud and feeling represented and him giving a real message to us. And I imagine Benito the hero did the same for his people. And I am fucking pumped about that shit. I'm pumped and I thank him for it. Because even though I couldn't understand his words, I got the message. White people are raised and socialized to think that everything that the light touches is theirs. You are already the majority of the population. Everything is white centered and celebrated. White people are mad because the Super Bowl wasn't white centered for 13 whole entire fucking minutes. One thing I've learned, if it's one thing that racist white people have, it's the fucking audacity, okay? Audacity. And honestly, look at history and tell me I'm wrong. January 6th. I know that if that many black people even face the direction of the White House at the same time or not, the entire damn Metro Police Force, the National Guard, and some rednecks would have tried to shoot or stomp them out. These crazy ass white assholes had the audacity. They were foaming at the mouth. Dookie on the walls. Green Day Dookie everywhere. On the walls. Remember that. The majority did that. They own that. The whites did that shit. Obama and Trump. The entire Obama family had to be perfect. His crime was wearing a tan suit and singing Purple Rain on Halloween to a beautiful child dressed perfectly like Prince. I don't know what the fuck else y'all expected him to do. Prince is contagious, and he gave us all he got. Trump is a PDF file who is using domestic violence J6ers with small penises to maim, kill, and disappear people to deter from the fact that he allegedly raped a 13-year-old nubile girl, got her pregnant, had the baby, and watched the baby be killed / thrown in Lake Michigan. So every day he does some shit with one hand so you're not watching the other hand. It's all a big grift. We always have to send our best. And we all know that. But you just give us your nasty, unscrupulous worst. The fucking worst of the worst. And fuck you very much for all of this shit. We know. And we know that you know too. Assholes. Y'all don't listen to us. We've been trying to tell you. We've been trying to tell you everything. How did this country get here, you ask? Fuck you.